thought I'd introduce a few more of my spiders. This one, she's just been kicking hairs as I moved her down here, so she's not in a great mood today. She's the only one who's ever haired me. There she is. This is my female Bumba horrida, and she's I actually think she might be fully grown. Not that I've got a male or anything, but I think she might be fully grown. My finger for reference. I think that's what she. I've got a ruler somewhere, but looking at this, I'm not the best judge of this, but I'd say she's over 3 inches, maybe 3.5 inches, something like that. I think that's about it for them. And I was going to rehome her into something much bigger than this, but she definitely seems happy in there. She has a sort of deeper burrow underneath a bit of bark down there, and comes up to here. But she's not a scaredy spider most of the time. This isn't particularly a feeding video. I'm not actually going to give her any food for a while. Let's have a look a bit close. She's one of my favourites. I never sort of intended getting her. I just happened to be in the pet shop and saw her and thought, oh wow, they look amazing. She's molted about 3 times since I've had her, so she's not grown that slowly. She wasn't tiny when I got her, but she's got that weird, long, pointy rear end. And she gets brighter than this, much brighter than this when she's fully molted. That's when she's dulled off a bit. I think she last molted in somewhere like the beginning of December, and it's now the end of January. So yeah, but she's not a. It's probably me overfeeding, so I would say she's not a massive eater, but she just knows when to stop compared to some of the others, and then she stops for a while. Like she hasn't eaten for about 3 weeks, but yeah, that's normal for her. Great spider. Anyway, so next. Okay, for this one I'm showing off my OBT. That's the setup. Quite deep substrate. I didn't make this setup. You see the sort of web tunnels. There's another one over the back there. I've put these extra taller bits in to give her some more height, 'cause she seems to like height. She's made this web sock since I've had her. Well, I keep calling her, I don't know if she's male or female. And I know that we might actually catch a glimpse of her. Yeah, there's a bum. That might be the best we can do. If I take this top off, it's going to disturb her and she'll just shoot down anyway, so I'm not going to bother. Yeah, my ABT. I don't see much of her. I think she's happy. I did take this top off to put an adult roach in about 2 weeks ago. Well, there she goes. I told you. So we're not going to see more than that. Anyway, I thought I'd say. Okay, this is my GBB. I can't take the top off this one either, because she webs all the way up top. But she's molted. Not long ago, she's going to disappear. Let's see if we can show her on the camera a bit. Not very well really, but she's got massive, considering about 1 centimetre when I got her. Not that long ago. She's been upgraded into this box here. See, not very much substrate, I admit, but what I did put was lots of sort of leaves and things for her to use to web to, and she does. That's what I did with the last setup she was in. She was in the smaller size tub. I think she's quite happy. I mean, you saw she moved around then, but I wouldn't say she's overly skittish really. Can we see her? There you are. Yeah, turning out to be really nice. Obviously lots of webbing in there. I just put a little bit of water in that bowl, and she's webbed over the top of the bowl, so to get to that some of the webbing gets a bit wet. I just make sure there's always a little, you can visibly see a bit of water in there, and she seems fine with that. I don't moisten the substrate or anything like that. Yeah, but she's cool. So thought I'd try and catch my Nandu Tripepi. Just molted 4 days ago. She's in the same size container as the GBB was. She does actually have a burrow down there. She burrowed a lot when I first got her, and now she sort of hangs out up there most of the time. Yeah, when I open it up, she might go down a burrow, and she will come out to eat. I'm not going to feed her. I've not got the food ready, basically. Otherwise, I would probably feed her. She hasn't been fed since she molted. Same again. I mean, it's a bit of condensation around here, but that's very, very dry over there. That's near the heat mat, and this is very wet. Well, not very wet. You can see how wet it is. But it is very wet, really. She generally sits in the middle, really. When I pick her up, she's sometimes on the wet side. Yeah, seems like quite a relaxed spider to me. I know they're supposed to be a bit jumpy. She's not really shown that to me, not compared to some of the others. Yeah, I really wanted one of these, so I'm pleased about that. Okay, this is my pumpkin patch. It's molted once since I've had it. It's done quite a lot of webbing in there, actually. Jumping around a bit in there. There he is. Look at that. Massive arse on it, though. It eats really well, actually. I think, is that a... Yeah, that's a bit of a... It's a baby dubia that's not eaten. So that she needs to not be fed for a while, actually. Look how pretty it is. I know they were supposed to be pretty, but I don't know if I was quite prepared for just how good they look. Its booty's got really fat compared to how it was. It's quite sort of active. I mean, it's skittish, I'd say, yes, this one. It does move around a bit. There's a bit of moisture in there. Same as the other one. Everything that's over this side is dry. And it seems to like this moss. It sort of builds all around the moss and all the rest of it. I top up the water most days, basically. But I don't fill that cap, I just half fill it these days. And I do moisten the substrate on this side as well. If it doesn't look like that, I'll make it look like that. So yeah, seems to be doing quite well. I like that. Now this one is my vegans. And I got it because it was £4. And it was tiny. So it's grown really fast. I'm very surprised how fast it's grown. See, that's a bit fat at the moment. It's always been a good eater. A surprisingly good eater, really. Well, I don't know how surprised I should be, because it's closely related to something like a curly hair, so they're good eaters. It's steaming up now. So this was very much a burrow when I first got it, and now it's not so bothered. When I open this up, there's a chance it might just come over here. And it's a water bowl emptier as well. So it seems to like it more moist than... I don't know if they do it on purpose or not. I take the water bowls out and clean them to try and make sure there's no web or anything that's wicking it off. There she is. But yeah, as I say, it's not really a feeding video. I'm just trying to show you them, which I'm not doing very well, am I? Here, I could take the top off. Yeah, let's take the top off. But I can't get over how fast it's grown. I mean, I've got the Tarantulas subalusum, and that has always grown fast, actually. So maybe I shouldn't be that surprised. In fact, this was almost like doubling up on that, if I'm honest, because it's going to look very similar to that when it's grown. But some of these vegans, they do look so impressive when they're grown. There it is. So that's my Tarantulas vegans. Looks almost red on this camera, but it can be a little bit jumpy and a bit sort of skittish, I suppose you'd say. You see how it's sort of turned its whole pot into its burrow. It used to have separate burrows, but now I think it just uses the whole pot. My spiders are all kept in darkness apart from when I'm here like this. I'll put somebody's molted. So this is my Grammostola pulchripes. I always say pulchripes, but pulchripes. And that must have molted today or last night. It wasn't molted yesterday when I looked. So I shouldn't really disturb it. But it's been growing not super fast, but not super slow either. They're supposed to grow super slow, but then it is kept pretty hot. It's about 30 Celsius at the moment. I keep this one a bit drier than the rest. It's a little bit moisture around. Sorry, a little bit moist around this side, but a lot drier in general in there. I think the best thing I can do with this one is just leave it alone. I won't poke around. I want to check it's got all its legs and everything, but I'm not going to mess about. I'd have to take that molt off it to do that. I'm hoping it's a girl because I've got a male, but obviously the male's like nearly fully grown, so they'll never meet. See if we can see my little Hensie for a change. There we are. So this is officially my first ever tarantula, Apopelma hensi, which is the Texas brown. And it's actually, probably that would count as a centimetre, maybe just more than a centimetre actually. I keep underestimating it. But it came to me under 5mm. So it has actually grown, I suppose. That's 8 months. So yeah, not fast at all. Definitely slow. And slow compared to the Grammostola pulchripes as well. But it's growing. Likes it quite hot. I found, yeah, keeping it hot. And it has got a burrow down the bottom down there. And putting this temperature gauge in, which is like a flat surface, that seemed to make a big difference because then it felt safer. It used to live underground all the time, and I'd take the top off its burrow once a month and leave some dead food at the top. And quite often it would eat it actually. Before then it wasn't eating for months at a time, but once I started just pretty much forcing it to eat, it started eating. And then putting that flat thing in there, because I need to know what the temperature is in the smallest of boxes, has given it loads of confidence. It likes to live underneath there, and it comes out all the time now. So that's my top tip for this is one confident spider, Phormictopus auratus. Not long molted actually, 2 weeks ago I think. I was expecting it to be a bit more golden than it is now, but it's not. It stayed, well, it's called the Cuban bronze, so it's looking more bronze than gold. I'm not going to feed it. It would probably eat actually, it nearly always does, but I'm trying to not feed it quite so often. But this is one confident spider. I know it's a little bit scrunched at the moment, but it'll probably attack a paintbrush if I touch it, because it thinks everything's food. Yeah, they are. But that was just to get it spread out, because it sometimes walks around a bit when it's spread out. It's sort of not far off wanting a rehouse, I think. It's in a 3 litre brass plast at the moment. And I don't know, I've not sexed it. I could sex the molt I got it from it last time, really, but I don't know. With this spider, it wouldn't matter, actually. The reason I'm not sexing them is because I sexed my large Grammostola pulchripes, Chaco Golden Knee, and I was a bit disappointed that it was a male. I did think it was a male anyway, but it made me disappointed, and I thought maybe I should not bother with this sexing thing. But this one, I actually bought it. It was the biggest one she had at the price in the bug hut. And I bought it thinking I want a male actually, because the males get really, really golden with these. So I wouldn't be disappointed if it was a male or female. You know, in general, I'm not bothered that much, because I'd like to keep them whatever they are. And then obviously it's a male, it's going to die one day and creates more space for more spiders. But as a female, you can have for a long time. So it's not going to do any wandering around, is it? It's got some water and it's looking all right, but. Yeah, that's a really confident spider, if that's what you're after. It's not aggressive, really. I mean, it thinks everything's food, that's why I went for the brush. I knew it would. Let's just get a close-up. Ooh. Let's get a close-up, see if we can see just how good it looks. Look at that. So it's got the bronze coming through now, but it's going to go gold. There we are, we're going to wander around now. There we are. No, it's just repositioning. Okay, anyway. Really nice spider. Highly recommend. Well, this is my large curly hair. Called Curly. She often likes to have a bit of a wander around. She's not fully grown yet, but she's not far off. She's been what's she now? Easily 4 inches, I'd say. And they get bigger, don't they? She's a female, definitely. I didn't know she was a female, so I already sexed her, but she's bought as a juvenile, I suppose you'd say, at about 6-7 centimetres back in March, I think it was. So she's really grown. That's her setup. She's in a large Mr. Keith, you call her? It's like a different name for it, but same thing. Water over there, a bit of moss. She has made a burrow over on that side, and I put that bit of bark in to try and give her a roof to the burrow. So I wish I'd put an extra sort of maybe 2-3 centimetres, a bit more substrate. She's got a lot of substrate in there. I was hoping she'd do some burrowing. She hasn't burrowed because she was in a bra plast before, but she's not in a wandering mood today, is she? Doesn't need feeding. She's just got a bit of a big booty on her. She's one of my friendly ones. Normally when I come to the spiders and I turn the lights on and everything, she comes for a bit of a wander around, see what I'm doing. Today she's typically just sitting there. Anyway, okay. That's the way you want to do it. Well, we can look at my A-gen. Not long molted. 2 weeks ago now, I think. I was eaten twice since then. It's not showing very good through that, but it's from where I'm standing, it's got quite nice red hairs on its bum at the moment. It's never actually been all that skittish or anything, to be honest. I don't know if it's more a feeding response, I suppose. But even then, it's been quite a calm spider for me. I did start it off exactly where it's standing. It used to be the entrance to a burrow, which I made at a starter burrow, and it's just not bothered by it. It's filled it in. I think it's treating the whole enclosure as its burrow. But yeah, it seems it eats. It's not it's not particularly fast or aggressive or anything. Maybe I've got a slow one, or maybe I don't know, just settled in. But yeah, they do look amazing when they get bigger. These do.